Kamaru Usman versus the giant Leon Edwards.
Yeah, look at that.
Alex, where'd you get this graphic at, man?
That's official. Like that's why I'm like I'm trying to get your job at UFC. Like this is for
That's
their
why I'm
app
saying, who
from the
who
Fight
did
Pass.
this? Come on.
I don't know. Like they don't like Camaro anymore. Like look this difference. Like this is crazy.
All
This is
right.
like three category difference. I don't
We're,
know
we're
really.
clipping this. I'm gonna send them my work as like part of my resume. We'll see if I can get a gig off of this. But all right. So assuming that Kamaru Usman and Leon Edwards fight at the same weight class and they're the same size, who do you have going into the rematch?
I wanna just do something. Let's go like this. And then we're gonna switch between.
something pretty.
Yeah, this is like good for my eyes. Um honestly, this is like how to say something of my thoughts. Like what I saw from they're so similar and that's crazy for me. Like they're both like if you look how much finishes they have, I don't count like Usman last couple fights like where he like when he's like under the pressure, he then managed to finish the guys like how happened with Masvidal in the second, what happened with especially against Gilbert Burns, like and with Colby who was like start to pick up the pace, in the first fight, and he
Mhm.
was even close in the second fight. So they're both, in my opinion, play like in the zone. How much is enough to win the fights? They're so smart there. Just like I think Usman is even better in keeping himself under outside the troubles and cruising in the same. While
Mhm.
Edwards has like sometimes like a loops down, especially like if you see like end of the fight against Gunnar Nelson, even with Nate Diaz
Yep.
in the last fight, that's the pretty big one. Like that, like you're more or less winning. You cannot put the guy out, and let's not joke. Like Nate Diaz is not like a big welterweight. Like he fought
Yeah.
in lightweight most of his career. So that's for me like the only difference that I think Usman can do it on the higher level.
Mhm.
Now is the question until when. Like we had Tyron Woodley. Everybody forget about Tyron Woodley now, but like he was like once upon a time like more or less Kamaru of his time.
Yep.
Then after defeat from Kamaru, he was forgotten completely. You
Ah.
know, is it a time like in? I saw some moments in last fight against Kobe like that. Usman is not like that when Kobe was putting the pressure. That Usman is like losing between, and that's probably like um what Edwards is saying, that his striking is not that good. How people are saying, like
Mhm.
like I'm not like I'm just getting back in the striking and start training again. So my and talking about my eyes are opening, but like I see something, but I cannot like how to say uh, explain it. You know what I want to say? And that's maybe like why Edwards is saying like that he's like much higher level. Even though like when we see Usman and how they praise him, like and really like his jab and when he switched like he have heavy hands and now they're going like really like a cannons.
Yeah.
But like every time like he even like Kobe cut a couple times with the uppercuts. In those like when under the pressure and there is like a more exchanges, and if he doesn't manage, like he's usually losing those exchanges
Yep.
you know and that's something that Leon Edwards can use. But like also he doesn't like to be in those exchanges. He likes more to be more technical. So he would have to change the way that he approach and do similar what Kobe did. And
Mhm.
also, I never saw like people use that much, like try to chop Usman leg, especially he have a problem with the knee, and nobody really
Yeah.
had that heavy tactic to go and try to chop it. Like I mean, I saw a couple of times, like in like for far like couple of years ago, he was really good in catching that leg, even if it's inside and going for a takedown,
Hmm.
you know. But like nobody really stuck it and tried to really like keep it on distance, explode on that leg, explode
Right.
on that leg. And I think that's the way to the victory. If you want to beat Usman, you have to go to that exchanges, be willing to take his heavy hands, and
Hmm.
and try to make a brawl and try to end up, because I think that's where he's losing. If you keep him on the distance and he just go 1-2, 1-2, he's pretty good and has the more power than most of the guys in that category, and trying to go for that front leg and chop it.
Hmm. I think everything you said is like spot on, right? Kicking him, especially with he's openly had like bad knees in the past. I think in one of his fights, he said he probably shouldn't have even fought. I forget which. It was the first Masvidal fight. Like, he had a broken nose going into there, and he couldn't walk like days before that. Like, bro, you're going into these fights so battered, and you can't even walk, and you're going into a title fight. That's crazy. So I think if people could really sit down on those kicks and throw them, like it could do some considerable work. One thing that impressed me about like Leon Edwards is like he's got really good striking, but after the Usman fight, I think he's been working on his grappling because against Gunnar Nelson, like I expected Gunnar Nelson to dominate all the grappling exchanges. Edwards looked pretty good. I think he reversed him a couple times and he was winning a few times. So against Gunnar Nelson, who's more of a submission grappler, jujitsu, so he has more of a submission threat than Usman. I thought Edwards looked okay. I mean,
No,
he
he
won the
did
fight.
great. Like I said, that's something like he is now like getting like he after that defeat, like even like how he's saying after that defeat, he really pick up like all his game. He didn't stay only striker, you know. Like
Mhm.
he's taking down people. Like even like if you go back against Usman fight, like he really like when Usman took him down first time, he was like setting up like solid triangle,
Yeah. Yep.
you
Right
know.
away into a triangle.
Yeah, so he has a weapons, you know. Like so now going to the technical side, like he shouldn't make a regular triangle. He was supposed to go to the reverse triangle,
Reverse triangle.
but
Yeah.
some other time about that. Let's
Hey.
stay on what we do here. Um, and what I wanted to say, like he really like did excellent in that fight. But again, it comes a time like I think he even end up Gunnar end up fight end up Gunnar was in the mount.
Hmm.
He, I'm almost sure that end up like that. You know, like he was losing, so that Gunnar had a more time, he would maybe even submit him.
Uh-huh.
Also, coming back to the Nate thing, you know, also at the end, you know, Usman is managing to keep it and not to get in too deep danger, while we see like with Edwards in like now these two situation. I think it was a couple more. I cannot now on top of my head, like keeping that high level. You know what I want to say?
Yeah, and I think with someone like Usman, who, he wasn't known as a knockout artist, but recently he's been knocking out people that don't usually get knocked out. And so, because of that, I do think in the later rounds, Leon Edwards, he's going to be more mindful of that. Whereas, like Nate Diaz, maybe he did let his foot off the gas pedal because he wasn't expecting to get tagged really hard by Nate Diaz. And there's something about like getting surprised in the moment. You're getting ready for something and then you get surprised by it. I think a little bit that happened with Gunnar Nelson. Like Gunnar Nelson was probably expecting to just dominate him as soon as it went to the ground. And he found out that wasn't the case. It took a little bit. And then you said at the end of the round, at the end of the fight, Gunnar was actually winning. So some of that, like the element of surprise, is there, and I think against Edwards, like Edwards and Usman, they're gonna be focused the whole time. I think ready for like at any second this guy could finish me.
Yeah,
So I'm expecting a technical fight where probably they're gonna be focused all 5 rounds if it doesn't get a finish.
yeah. Talking about the similarities between these two guys, even like I think their life story, like
Mm,
with the fathers, Leon's father got killed when he was like 13, 14. I don't know how old was Usman when his father was going to the prison, so it's really interesting, like I said, like from the technical aspect and the way how they fight, also their life story, like,
right.
and that makes it really interesting, at least for me, like I like to go in those deeper details, like, and that probably like brings the mindset, like how they grew up, like there is no father figure, like
Mm,
for the adverse, unfortunately for good, but like Usman's father, I think he spent like good amount of years in prison. I cannot remember now, but like, that's the similarities. And now I think Leon is hungry wolf. Like if you go to Camaro, like he's now on top. Like it's just like that ego and competitive spirit. But like how they usually say, like coming like to the nickname of Leon Edwards, Rocky. Like when you're sleeping in the silks sheets, it's hard to grind.
yeah,
And Edwards is a hungry wolf now, so that's also something that,
that's a great point because I've been listening to Usman interviews, both of these guys, and Usman's already talking about kind of like retiring and what's going to happen afterwards. He's already been talking about like moving up, not one weight classes, but two weight classes.
yeah, because
So is he already talking about the future and thinking about the future when he really should be focused on Edwards? Because I think Edwards, like, he can really fucking bring it. So it is interesting. Like I was just saying he should be focused all 5 rounds, but how much of that focus is he putting on Edwards before the 5 rounds even start? Like, is he focused on Canelo, who he was trying to fight, which I think is kind of bullshit, but still, he's putting it out there. He's focused on Jan Blachowicz, you know, he's focused on like he says that he already cleared the division, so his legacy is intact, like it's already in place. Like, well, if that's the case, it might be difficult to fight a hungry lion, like you said, in Edwards. So it I wonder also, like, he beat Edwards with grappling because every time that it was striking, I thought Edwards was winning. Almost every time they were striking. But now that we've seen Usman get these knockout finishes, I wonder if like part of his ego is going to kick in and say like, "Hey, I wanna try to knock out this guy or strike with this guy."
yeah, that would be really interesting, and that's something that I would like to see, because like I said, I saw something in his striking. Everybody is now praising, like, and working with Trevor Whitman, like it really went up. But like I I think in the last fight I saw some sequences, and I tried to find it today. I couldn't, like that really, like, especially like when there is like a more shots, like his head movement. It's like a little bit awkward and not like before.
Mm-hmm.
Because like when a couple of days ago I was looking, I found like how he was moving before, how he moves now. You know, and it was like in one or two sequences, like, and I was looking again today and I didn't manage to find it fast, so I forgot about it later. And that's something that I think everybody will be surprised, especially if Edwards really comes prepared, like we said, you know to see like what Kobe was doing, just like to accept the punch. But that's the question again, can he take heavy punch from the champ, especially like if we say that Nate almost like he put him on the chicken legs. That's
Yeah.
sure. But like what I was coming even to that, like, and that nobody's talking about. Like why that, like, let's say Nate Diaz for sure doesn't have a KO power.
Uh-huh.
But if you go back to his punches, like when he managed to shake the people, and like I never heard it for anyone saying that. It's coming after that slap. So it
Yeah.
slap, because like imagine like this: if somebody is punching you with a fist, your chin is staying like probably like closed,
You're bracing for it. Yeah.
Yeah, if somebody's slapping you, it's like basically like like after the slap, I think it's a reaction to open the mouth. So your
Uh-huh.
chin is down, separating from the upper chin, and then
Yeah.
two is coming. Just my crazy theory, like
Yeah, yeah.
but I think there is something there, because I
Yeah.
think the biggest, like, how to say, number one, I think it's influence mentally, like just go from the growing up to everything. Like for you it was less if somebody is punching you with a fist or slap you, like that's some,
Mhm.
it's bringing more nerves for some psychological reasons, I don't know, like at least it was like in my neighborhood like that.
No, I agree. Like, I'd rather get punched in the face. If you slap me, now I get like, what the fuck, man? Come on.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I think. It's everywhere. Like I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like back how it was for us, And I think like that slap makes you to like your chin is going down, and then that punch is coming, and then it makes more effect because like your chin is going like,
Right.
and it
No.
makes more shake to the brain. So that's my theory. Don't get me right or wrong. I just like want to put it out there, you know.
Alex Rychich, MD, medical
And
doctor.
yeah, maybe next show we can get some doctor to confirm it.
Yeah.
Am I right or
I
wrong?
think there is something to that. Like when guys get tired and they start breathing out of their mouth, and then that's
It's
when they get
yep,
knocked out. I mean, same
exactly.
thing. Anything that could cause their jaw to kind of, disconnect instead of bracing for it.
Maybe we
But
should
I'm not a doctor either, so who knows?
no. We're gonna
Yeah.
ask Nate Diaz. Are we right or wrong?
Yeah. So at the end of the day, who are you picking for this fight?
Again, like that's why I said, like for the betting, I don't like this card at all. Again, we have like
Mhm.
Kamaru Usman on minus 380. We have Leon Edwards plus 310. It's just like
That's a big favorite. Like I thought it should be closer than that, I would think.
yeah, yeah. It's really like if you go back to this whole fight card, okay, we have Tyson on minus 740. We have Romanov on minus 350. Then we have like Paulo Costa minus 345, and we have Kamaru Usman minus 380. I mean, like if you connect all these four and put the money, you're an idiot. Even if you win it, you're an idiot because like you're
Yeah,
risking so much.
you're a
Like that's
crazy
just my
guy.
opinion of the night. For the
Yeah.
end of the night, like I got
What's
to
your
get
vibe, by
both.
the way? We usually open with what you. Oh, more boat shoes, boats and hose.
Yeah, I tried to write it down, like, but like it was like too sweaty. I'm just gonna do it now. I want to keep for the. What do you have over there? Lagunitas,
I got
little something.
a little classic. Not bad.
Nice, nice. No, I was like thinking like to say at the beginning of the show, because we didn't say last time, like boat and hose. Like next last weekend, like it was like crispy boy, and I was really crispy boy. Like I was thinking like this weekend to go for the big money, so I can get both.
Hey, that sounds good.
Stephanie would not agree with the hose, so but like really when I see this fight card, like I don't know what to say, like I really don't like it from the betting aspect.
Maybe
Maybe
just
like
sit
some
back
crazy.
and enjoy the fights. How about that?
Yeah, I will maybe go for some live bets, but like also like
Yeah.
what was the deal on the live bets? There's not gonna be too much option. Like if let's say the underdogs start winning and it's going down, then maybe you can put the money on the
Mhm.
favorite. But like because they're so big favorites, like I don't know how it's gonna move. Like this is like something first. Like I said, I didn't do it in a long time. I'm really interested to see like how the odds are gonna move.